What is the most disrespectful thing that someone has done in your home? Friend must have seen me once put in the code for my spare key lockbox, and I came home to her in my fucking house. Mind you, we're not close. Her excuse? She had to go to the toilet. Safe to say, I reset that shit and didn't invite her over anymore. Weirded me out. My mom made a huge dinner for my aunt and cousins. They showed up 2 hours late, told my mom, "Oh sorry, the boys can't eat that much right now," and just went in our fridge and made them sandwiches instead. She invited a bunch of sleazy guys over, despite me asking her not to. She let them in while I was in the shower, so I did not realize they were in my house. She then took one into my housemate's bedroom and locked the door, super disrespectful to my housemate who had so kindly offered that she could stay in her room as she was going to be at her boyfriend's for the weekend. When I got out of the shower, one of the guys was in my bed. And I was like, dude, get the fuck out of my bedroom. And he refused and said my friend said he could stay there. I was very not okay with that. I physically had to push him out of my house. The next day when she sobered up, I kicked her out of my house and did not speak to her for 3 years. Constantly unplugging electronics. First it was the thermostat, she didn't like the sound the water heater made, then the Wi-Fi, the CIA was snooping on her, and finally my fridge, she was saving the environment. It was after an awful spinal surgery I went through when I was 12. They were cousins and my parents caught them trying to steal my painkillers. Not house but apartment in college. Roommate invited a bunch of people over one night. We each had our own bathroom, clearly marked. I go to get something from my room and hear obvious fucking in my bathroom. I knock on the door and say, "Wrong one, get the fuck out." After they came out I saw that they had cleaned themselves up on my nice white towels. Apparently she was on her period. Edit, holy shit, what did I wake up to? To the guy yelling fake, I assure it was not. No, I was not the guy you know working at Domino's, and not your Bed Bath & Beyond towels. These were either Crate & Barrel or J.C. Penney. Big difference I know, but still. My wife's cousin was staying at our house because he is going through marital problems. One night I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard some change rattling. He walks down the hall with my 5-year-old's piggy bank. He was taking money from my daughter's fucking piggy bank to buy beer and smokes. Edit, rearranged a word. Dude crapped his pants while sitting on my couch playing a video game and just sat there finishing the match. We were having an old-fashioned LAN party and the entire room cleared out. We invited a group of people over for lunch. One of them arrived, put a bunch of food on a plate in a plastic container, and left to bring it to eat with her boyfriend. Edited as my memory comes back. Edit 2, I'm told she came back in and grabbed 2 beers from the fridge, which is when everyone realized what was going on. I was a kid, my mom had a friend and her son over. They were over for a couple hours and just as they were leaving I noticed all of my video games were gone. I told my mom, she goes grabs his backpack and of course they were all in his bag. His mother immediately came to his defense, saying he's got a lot of games and must have thought they were his. It didn't even make sense and she acted as if nothing had happened. Anyway, terrible mother, kid had no chance. He is now in jail for life, no parole, for shooting and killing a cop during a cocaine bust. A friend from college days stayed in our house while he was looking for a job in the area. The only house rule was, do not let the cat out, he's strictly an indoor cat and never goes outdoors. We came home one day and found the slider and screen open, our beloved cat was gone. When he saw how upset and distraught we were, his response was, "It's only a cat, no big deal." As I've noted here some time ago, we put this guest out right away, and it wasn't until many days later that our cat returned home, thin, but safe. Had a drunk partygoer attempt to do pull-ups from the planks of my old ranch-style ceiling just beneath the heater vent and ended up pulling down a large portion of my ceiling. Refused to pay for it. One night the girls who lived in the apartment across the hall brought a friend with them to hang with us. As soon as she walked in she screamed, "This will be hilarious." College guys always get the shitty, hand-me-down dishes from their parents. She walked into the kitchen and began pulling out pans and dishes and howling about how old and ratty they were. Our friends were mortified. When they tried to talk to her, she talked louder. After 30 seconds of this lunacy, my roommate and I told her to leave. She threw a giant fit and called us assholes. Not my home, but I was renting a house and the landlady kept turning up unannounced and would let herself in, and would give the key to people doing work on the house without telling us, so we'd, without warning, have strangers let themselves into the house. It was a very stressful way to live. A babysitter stole my vibrator and blocked my calls, like really? My dog peed on the arm of the couch, the ottoman, and the fridge when I first got him, so that was pretty fucking rude. Edit, here's a couple pictures of my dog, in exchange for your upvotes and awards. Somebody left small children in our house while they went to the grocery store. A now ex-girlfriend came into my parents' home for only the second time and said to my mother, "Wow, it's tidy in here for a change, haha." I could see in my mother's eyes the thought process of how to slap her to the next century without making a scene. Thankfully she laughed it off, but that was a big red flag for me and my ex. When I was in Cub Scouts, in 3rd grade nonetheless, my mom hosted a meeting for the scouts in my grade at school where we built bird houses for some badge or something. While we were waiting for everyone to arrive, me and the scouts who had already arrived started playing in my backyard. One scout, let's call him N, told us he had to go to the bathroom really bad and left. When everyone arrives to start the project, I noticed that N was sitting at the edge of the table looking down, and my mom was really angry, and was trying her best to suppress it. She asked me and all the other scouts if I had given N permission to go in my room. Me and all my friends said no, he said he had to go to the bathroom really bad. This response only made my mom even more visibly angry, and N ducked his head more. 5 minutes later, N's mom arrives and is apologizing profusely to my mom. Turns out N went into my room, pocketed the $20 I had been saving up. I got paid $2 a week for mowing the lawn as an allowance, and was stuffing my toys and video games into his backpack. My mom went upstairs to actually use the bathroom and noticed the theft taking place and caught him red-handed. He then lied to my mom and said I gave him permission to go into my room and he was just checking it out. But no, my mom caught him red-handed, and my mom is scary when she's mad. In total he stole around $150 in Game Boy cartridges, Pokemon cards and toys, and around 3 months of allowance. I rented a room to someone I knew since I was 12. He was using and selling H from my house. I found out and told him to GTFO. He was too lazy to use the bathroom and pissed in bottles. I didn't know. Threw the piss all over the room before he left. Carved swastikas in my kid's bunk bed I was letting him use. Intruded in a homemade family dinner uninvited and then insulted my cooking. Didn't get a thank you either. Our old roommate pissed in my cat's litter pan because I deserved to clean up his piss. He was mad I wouldn't pay his rent for the 3rd month. Dickbag. Kicked my cat, smoked my weed without permission, pissed on the toilet seat, then stole some games when they left. All in one 40-minute visit. When I was in like 2nd grade, I invited this girl over and we made popcorn as a snack, and not even 5 minutes later, this twat decided it's a good idea to run all over my house throwing it everywhere. This goes on another 5 minutes while I chase her down. But the damage is done. The popcorn is in between couch cushions, under the fridge, under my bed, in my laundry basket, all over the damn floor. My mom ends up sitting us down and proceeds to lay it out on her, telling her that what she did was disrespectful and to help clean up. She pouted and said no, saying since it wasn't her house she didn't have to clean shit. She continued to pout as my mom called her mom and pretty much told her to leave and to not expect to be invited back anytime soon. I haven't spoken to her in a while, but apparently she got banned from the mall for trashing a Lush store with her friend, throwing food, dumping out products, and smashing bath bombs, so I guess she hasn't changed much. When I was a kid I invited a friend over and she tried to trap and suffocate my new kittens in a box. Back in college my roommates and I hosted a birthday party for a mutual friend at our apartment. Earlier that day we gifted her a pet goldfish because she had been talking about getting a fish. Fast forward to later in the night. Our male friend, let's call him Mike, decided he needed to find a way to impress our other friend, who we'll call Darla. Mike tries every lame joke and pick-up line on Darla and fails time and time again. Then he sees the goldfish in his tank and scoops him up in his hand. He says, "Check this out, Darla." He then plops the fish into his mouth and swallows it alive. My roommate and I immediately rush over and start trying to make Mike puke the fish back up. Darla quickly makes for the door and leaves the party. Sadly, that fish met its doom in Mike's stomach that night. He never apologized, although he did complain about severe stomach issues for several days afterwards. TLDR, bought a fish for a friend and another friend swallowed it alive at a party to impress, flirt with someone. Thanks for watching. What would be your response? Leave it in the comments and see what the others say. Please also like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, take care.